Hello, this is Paul with Logics Workshop. Today we're going to do a George Brown College review. Now we're not going to talk about the degree program. We're going to talk about their online PLC programming course and some of their other electromechanical courses. We're going to try to discover, is it worth the cost? That's what we're going to dig in today. So if this is going to be valuable, you ever thought about taking this course, then this is a must-see video. All right, so let's get started this with you because I'm hoping to help clarify the value of any training online that you feel can contribute to helping you start your career or grow your career in the automation program career field. So let's go ahead and dive right in. All right. So if you've been thinking about taking this training, this online PLC training program, then this should be really valuable for you. And hopefully, even if you've taken you're thinking about taking some training elsewhere or have taken some training and you want to learn and understand how that training can help leverage you into a position, this review is going to help discuss those points. And I think it's going to be really valuable for you. If you're in any way interested in leveraging your training. All right, so let's go ahead and dig into it. So the first thing I wanted to do is make sure that we're clear about what we're going to talk about. This is George Brown College, their technical training. The website is gbctechtraining.com, the /PLC-technician. So this is the training. You see lots of ads all over the place from George Brown University. Now, to be fair, George Brown University, I believe it's out of Ontario, Canada. They are a real college. So that's an important thing. So if we keep it to American students, I will discuss some points regarding those who are outside the continental United States and how that can help you in your career. But this is a real university. It has accreditation. Now, when I say it has accreditation, this is not an American college accreditation. When you get the George Brown College accreditation, you have to compare that. You have to see what that comparison is to an American college accreditation, and it will not be equal. Let's be very clear. There will be a difference, and you may be required, depending on what school you're comparing it to, additional classes. But I'm not going to dig into that. That's a very deep and complicated conversation. If you're looking to go to school to get a degree that's an American education accreditation, do not go to George Brown College. Go to an American college that is clearly identified as an accredited college. Part of the problem with people who are new and entering this career field is they're trying to find that shortcut. George Brown is not that shortcut. The shortcut is to go to an accredited college, pass all the classes, and get your degree. That's the shortcut. There is no other shortcut that you're going to find that's going to be adequate. And I say this because I want you to know up front what it's going to take to be able to achieve that education accreditation. And the education accreditation means you go to a college that's recognized and accredited in America that gives you that certificate. All right, so that's what that is. If you're going here to take courses that are continuing education, growth development, or to give you some certificates, could be a very good choice for you. All right, we're going to talk about that part. That's the part I want to talk about today. All right, so let's get into it. Online PLC training programming technician training certificate program. All right, so they have they show the inside of a factory or a machine building company. Great picture here. That's, just keep in mind, that's a stock picture. You're not going to work with equipment like that through their online course. Now, they use simulation software. Okay, plain and simple. PLC Logics 5000 Simulator. If you've never used this, and I don't have a current copy downloaded to my computer, this computer, I should do a review of the actual software. But what I want to do is review the training. Is the training itself valuable? Okay, so now if you've ever taken Logix Pro 500, then this software will be very, very similar to that Logix Pro. And I've used this in the past. And it does use the 3D animation here to simulate some of the programming that's in there. So, which will emulate a wide range of manufacturing service. So batching, mixing, bottling line, dual compressor, elevator, moving car, wash, etc. All right. So it goes through a whole bunch of stuff. So it clearly tells you what the cost is, $1,700. We're going to talk about that, right? So initial registration is $400. It has a whole bunch of different training modules that you'll go through, right? Additional online training resources. So it says Online Student Resource Center offers additional resources, including the alternative study content, online exam center, etc. So this is the website. All right, so they have what they call as an automation technician, electronics technician, electromechanical technician, PLC technician, PLC 2, robotics technician. I'm opening those up because I want to review each and every one of them so that you're clear about my opinion. So, okay, so we've got an online program. They use simulation software like Logix Pro. It costs $1,700 and there's different payment options. Okay, so now we got the foundation of what we're going to talk about. So now let's go ahead and we're going to go to the Automation Technician page and Online Automation Technician Training. Okay, now it has 3D Lab, Logix Sim simulation software, PLC, Logix 5000, RoboLogix, etc. Now, my overall view is there is most certainly some value in taking this training. Okay, however, in my opinion, if you're going to use this training to try to leverage yourself into a job as a PLC programmer, if you're new to this, I would say this is not really the best use of your $1,700. Okay, that's my opinion. When I say that is, one of the best things you can do is go to myplctraining.com with Stephen Gates, and you can get his entire the RS Logix 5000 software, the real software, HMI, the 5000 emulate, and you can get all that software for a measly $37 or $40 or whatever it is that he charges, and you get the real software, and that's very important. And he teaches you how to simulate programs with the real software. All right, and while the 3D simulation is really kind of cool in its own way, when you write programs in the real world, you've got to do a lot of that in your head. And the sooner you get that, the sooner you start building programs off of your head, the better you're going to be prepared for the real world. Now, the other thing is, if you're building programs with the real software, like Stephen Gates helps you do, that stuff you can put into your portfolio that you can show employers, right? So this here is simulation software, which I have no doubt, and I've taken some of this training in the past. There is things to be learned here, but you can learn this for a lot less else in other places, and that's my opinion. For a lot less money and get a lot more value out of it. If you took Stephen Gates training, you added Shane Welcher's online PLC support.com, and you mix those two together, you're gonna have an awesome skill set. And Shane's training, I think it's like $30-$40 a month. You're gonna have an awesome skill set. You're going to be very, very strong. And as a matter of fact, you're going to have advanced servo training background as well if you start and finish the training. So with that being said, that's a much higher value for a whole lot less cost. And what you build will be built in real world PLC software that you can put in your portfolio and show to an employer. Having a certificate, this is my honest opinion. if an employer is asking if you have a certificate, or have you taken online courses and etc., in my opinion, they don't really know what they're talking about. Okay, if they say, hey, we're doing servos, I know you're new, have you taken Shane Walters? Can you show me? Then that means, can you show me what you've learned? That means they are familiar with the software, the training program. They're familiar with what you can get out of it, and they want you to demonstrate to them that you've taken it, you know the material. The reason that's important is they actually know what they're looking for, all right? Asking if you've taken some sort of certificate for some online course is meaningless in the big picture. It's meaningless because the person asking that question doesn't know what they're talking about. Okay, they're just saying, have you ever taken any kind of training course? Show me a certificate. Well, you can go home, print off a certificate, hand it to them. They would not know any different. I don't recommend doing that. But my point is, understand that the person who's asking you for some sort of certificate or training documentation, it's really helpful if you know what they're asking. If what they're asking makes sense, and you know that they understand what it is they're asking for. If they're asking for a generic certificate, this in my opinion, they don't know what they're looking for. They really don't. They have no idea, all right? In an interview, they're likely going to ask you, where did you get your skill set? And you're going to explain it to them. If they want some proof, that is where you're going to say, hey, I have tons of different projects in my project portfolio I'd love to share with you, all right? That, to me, if they say, well, I don't want to see that, show me some certificates that you've taken. In my opinion, that somebody should not be the person who is interviewing you and trying to judge your technical skill set. Okay, what that is somebody who's an administrator who has to fill this position and is just asking for the boxes to be checked. Okay, yep, he took a certificate. Yep, he's got a degree. Yep, he's got this, but doesn't understand what you're really capable of doing. All right. Now I know for a lot of guys, they like, oh, I hope I get an administrator. Really don't know the details, but they hire me and I'll learn on the go. That's not what you want. You want somebody you need a boss or to be interviewed by somebody who knows what they're doing and understands where your skill set is and feels that you would be a good fit somewhere in their company, and that they understand where your skill set is and they're willing to make the commitment to develop your skill set. Anything less than that, you're setting yourself up for failure. Okay, it's really important that you are honest and upfront in these interviews, because I'm telling you from past experience, you could end up being a minnow in a tank full of sharks. Okay, the automation, robotics, this world is a very, very complicated, stressful, challenging environment. If you do not set yourself up for success early in your career, you're going to have a lot of different jobs, because you're gonna struggle. You're gonna get eaten up. You may get terminated. You may make very expensive mistakes. It's not worth it. Again, find a company that knows that clearly understands where you're at in your skill set, has a need for that level of skill set, or is at minimum willing to take you from where you're at to where they need you to be in a short amount of time, and will continue to develop your growth. And if you do not find that, that is your goal. I got to tell you right now, that is your number one goal when interviewing. It's not just getting any job. It's finding a job that is a good fit for you. That is what's important. And this online training, while you can benefit from it, there are much better solutions out there. That's my opinion. Okay, so we look at the electronics. Now, in truthfulness, I like the electronical simulation programmer. Now, I'm not an electronics guy, but I do know that this is a value. But what's interesting is you can go out and get the 3D circuit simulation without having to pay the expense of $1,760 for the course. All right, I would recommend doing that, taking some training, and you can get training for electronics anywhere. They're all over the place. That's it. One of my big problems with George Brown is it's very, very, very expensive. Now, they're going to say, well, we're a college and we give you certificates and all that. Great. Have you ever seen an ad that asks for a George Brown College technical training certificate in electronics? And if you have it, then your employers don't buy it. Doesn't matter what George Brown says. Doesn't matter, and with all due respect, doesn't matter what you think. What does matter is what does the employer think, okay? Now, it's an online training course. I think you'll get better value with Stephen Gates, Shane Vulture. If nothing else, go do some live training, in-person training. We are back to that now. COVID's moderately past, and we can do some live online or live in-person training. That's really valuable. And most of that training doesn't equal $1,760, so it's very expensive. Okay, so electromechanical. This was a tough one. This one's a tough one because while again they're using simulation software, and talk about electromechanical, pneumatics, hydraulics. You can learn, and there's some great, and I put some videos out on learning hydraulics and pneumatics, places you can learn online, and they're a lot less than $1,700, but they're very, very thorough and in depth. I'll put some links to those videos down below. So, in my opinion, very expensive, low value. If you're interested in this software, Circuit Logics, you can find this. Just copy this, go online, you'll find the software for a lot less than $1,700. Now, if you're, again, let me reiterate, if your goal is to get some sort of certificate from a college, employers, those who ask for those generally aren't really technical. They're not your technical subject matter experts. They're just administrators, right? The technical subject matter experts wants to see what you know. Okay, they can judge your technical knowledge because they are subject matter experts. Big difference. Okay, so again, the PLC programming. This is very expensive, $1,700 for the software. And you can buy the software if you want this PLC Logics 500, well, the 500 or the 5000. There's one of each. Now, be very, very clear about that. There's a 5000. This is a 500. I know they have a 5000 version and a 500 version, and you can buy those. You do not have to go through this college in order to get this software. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you're thinking about it. Okay, so here it is, the 5000 simulator. Again, it is neat. Don't get me wrong, but if you just want the software, then go buy the software. I don't think $1,700. My opinion. Now I will preface all this. I've taken training with this simulator. I've done training with the simulator. I've not taken George Brown's entire course, but I think there's better options out there in my opinion. So PLC Logics, welcome to PLC Logics, and you can come right here. Here's the 500 and 5000. Gives you a free 15-day trial. I highly recommend you get this and get some hands-on, play around with it, see for yourself what you think. Or, my opinion, you have. See my PLC training. It should come up because I actually am using a license. I personally have a license with. I'm enrolled in Stephen Gates' program right now to help one of my team. One of the team members I'm working with to improve their training, and I didn't want to have to go out and buy another license, so I went, hey, I'm going to go to Shane Vulture's, and we're going to use his license. And I'll tell you this much, I had a problem last weekend, I think it was, getting the software to work right, and their online support was really fabulous. They did a great job in helping me get it lined up, and it just wasn't working right for whatever reason. And he helped me out quite a bit. So great, and you'll get real life software here, and an entire training program that will teach you the fundamentals. And it's like $40, $37 or something. And Stephen Gates is a great guy. He'll help you out a lot. Here you got UDTs, function block, Ethernet. You'll get great training here for $30-40. All right. And again, you have Shane Welcher and you have my PLC support, and he has really good advanced training. So my opinion, if you want to use the software, there's an option. These are fun to play with. I'm not going to say they're not, but they're just not the real things. So if you're looking for, this has robotics, and there's $1,660. So $1,500 you can get a Robot Studio for a whole year, right? And that's the real world software. It has 3D simulation, just similar to this, except for it's the actual robot. It's the actual programming, and it's the actual software that we would use in the real world in the real world. So to me, that's a much higher value than the college. Now, everybody's probably going to beat me up on this. It's okay. I totally understand. Everybody has a different opinion. But if you were to ask me, I think there are much better resources out there than George Brown College for any automation training. Now, if you want to go there and you want to get a degree and you're clear about what the accreditation is and how that works in America for you, you've done an assessment between the two, and you understand that, highly recommend it. Any training is valuable. I'm just saying, for new people on a budget, $1,600-1,700 is way too expensive. Within the end, with what you're going to get in the end, there are much better alternatives. All right, this went long, and I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry I missed last week. I actually got very, very sick. But anyhow, and you might be able to hear my voice, but I just want to share my thoughts on this. It came over on the YouTube channel, and I just want to share that with you. Hey, in addition, here's an opportunity for me to plug our upcoming simulation software. The difference between what they have and what we're doing is our software is going to be real world. You will not know the difference between our software and doing it in the real world. So I hope you guys give it a look when it comes out. We had to push it back a month to July 1st for its release. We've got some demo lessons we're putting out, and we're kind of excited about what it'll do, and we're looking for feedback. And what we want to do is create the best, most realistic simulation software training in the world. And this first version is on Keyence vision sensors, vision cameras. So if you ever want to learn how to program and integrate RS Logic 5000 and a Keyence camera together, here's your opportunity. All right, so until next time, this is Paul with Logix Workshops. You guys take care. Let me know what your opinions are down below if you disagree. Talk to you later.